This is the Reality Radio Network on Telstar 5 Transponder 5 and on the internet at realityradionetwork.com.
And now, Sherry Shriner Live.
Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Sherry Shriner. Barely here tonight, can barely speak. Gonna do the show. Kinda lost my voice over the weekend. Was losing it to begin with, and then had some really intense football games over the weekend. And I think the side whose parents are yelling the loudest wins, you know, and so won both games in overtime, and just about took my voice with it. So gonna hang in there tonight anyway. Wanted to have a listener call in line tonight. Go ahead and call in with your comments or questions at 260-356-2611. These are probably the nights I should bring a guest on so I don't have to talk as much. And no shortage of guests. A lot of people wanting to get on this show, and a lot of requests to have certain people on this show. And, you know, basically, I just do as the Lord leads, folks. And you know, this is a Bible prophecy-oriented type show, you know, and I want things on here that are relating to end times events or New World Order-oriented or aliens-oriented. And so a lot of people in the mainstream just don't fit that mold, and so that's the only reason I don't have a lot of guests on this show. You know, when I bring somebody on, it's usually to talk about something specific. You know, I don't always agree with my guests, but some of them have had some good viewpoints that needed to be heard. And like I said, don't ever box yourself in one viewpoint. Don't get boxed in believing things are only going to happen one way. And just because I spend a lot of time on particular ways or views doesn't mean I won't bring somebody else on the show with a different view. You know, it's not about who's right, it's who's prepared. You know, a lot of preparation needed for the last days with a lot of people expecting things to happen a particular way. And I don't think things are going to happen bulletproofed outline like the churches teach, like we've been led to believe they will. There's going to be a lot of monkey wrenches thrown in the mix, a lot of things happening people don't expect. And the only way that's going to happen is you're not expecting it is because you got boxed in on one kind of a viewpoint. And here, you know, this way, if you know them all, you know all the players behind the scenes, then you're not going to get taken by surprise. I wrote an article this week on my blogger called the Coming Oil Crisis. I thought it was really kind of funny because all these self-prescribed prophecy gurus on the internet from the church crowd, only comment was, what oil crisis? You know, we're not in an oil crisis. And you know, the only thing I had to say is, how's the temperature in the sand? You know, these people need to pull their heads out of the sand. There's a lot of things going on. Just because their pastors aren't teaching it doesn't mean these things aren't reality. And it's a lot of these people in the churches today that are so mind-controlled and brainwashed ignoring reality, they're going to get blindsided by it. You know, a lot of these persecutions coming up for the Christians, the reason why so many are going to die is because they simply weren't expecting it. And then when it did happen, the only thing they could resort to was the mind control conditioning to submit and go like sheep to the slaughter. You know, and the Lord doesn't teach that. The Lord teaches self-defense. He teaches to protect yourself and your families and your properties. And you know what? When the goons come for you, take a few out on your way out. You know, defend yourself, defend your property. Don't roll over like a bunch of sandbags. That's exactly what they want you to do, and that's exactly what some of these preachers on television or anywhere else, even on the internet, will tell you to do, because they work for the agenda. And their whole thing is, yeah, they're going to give you all the information they have. They're going to tell you about the coming martial law. They're going to tell you about all the camps that they have. They'll even tell you where they're at. They don't care what kind of information you have. It's your reaction to it that they're trying to control. So there's where the whole spin angle comes in. That's where they want you to just submit and go like sheep to the slaughter. And the Lord has stood me up, especially this week, has told me, fight for my people and teach them to defend themselves. You know, and I wrote an article on that a while ago. I don't even, maybe a month or two ago, several months ago. A call to arms. You can read it at SherryTalkRadio.com or SherryTalkRadio.com in my article section. It's called A Call to Arms. And it details Christians who should be ready and prepared to defend themselves and their families. And that also works as a deterrent, folks. They're going to think twice about coming after the Lord's believers that they know are armed. And I'm not talking about the period when the Lord will hide His bride during the mid part, when He protects His bride from the hour of temptation that comes upon the world, and the hour of temptation being when the mark of the beast is enforced. He will protect His people at that point, but we've got a ways to go before that happens, folks. And we'll probably see a Russian and Chinese invasion here on American soil, some kind of invasion, some kind of martial law, before we even get to that point. And so you need to be prepared for that. And so read that article, Call to Arms, that I put out.
Sure.
Listen to call-in line 260-356-2611.
Sherry?
Yeah.
You have a caller?
Okay, go ahead and put him on.
You're up, caller.
Sherry, hi, this is Anita.
Hey, Anita, how you doing?
Really good. I've been listening to all of your articles, even when you very first started, and I just recently listened to Hidden Dangers of the Rainbow.
Yeah.
Where the lady was talking about how the New Agers were putting in their Bibles that when they see, Christ come the second time, that they're going to see Him on TV.
Right.
Well, I had been listening to Assembly of God, Church of God minister for quite some time, and he was promoting his own Bible, and it was quite expensive, and he wanted to sell some, and you send your money in to buy other people's Bibles who couldn't afford them. So when I got my Bible, I got all the other Bibles I purchased also that was supposed to have been given to these other people. So the first thing I did was I gave them out, and then I flipped over to Revelation. The very first thing I see is he's talking about how it's going to be seen on TV. And I'm thinking, this is not the Word of God. Because that's, having a form of power but denying it there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I think when God says you're going to see Him, you're going to see Him.
Yeah, literally in the skies returning with thousands of His saints, according to the prophet Zechariah.
So that just blowed me away. And my mouth just fell open. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then tonight when I hear this other lady, that's just confirmation. And I was like, well, that's just unreal. So then we went through Hurricane Katrina. And we didn't lose our homes or anything, but martial law came to our town.
Yeah.
And I have been listening to you talk about martial law, and I was blown away again. So I started telling my mom and dad, some of the things that other people were talking about on different radio talk shows and everything, and I got blasted.
Of course.
I'm a nut. I shouldn't listen to stuff like this, but it's all there.
Yeah, and you know what? No matter how crazy people think you are, they will remember the things that you say, and when they start to see things for themselves,